IRC. I'm sitting in Berlin, and I have my colleagues with me today, Jochen from Berlin and Angelika, also from Berlin, but right now she's in Cornwall, doing this from her vacations. And I want to say a big hello to every one of you. It's great to have so many partners, and it's great to see your names in this list. And later on, we will have a short introduction round where we will ask you to turn on shortly your camera and wave us, and say your name. For the moment, I hope that everybody can hear me okay. And I would like to explain shortly the settings here. So you see people and you see the microphones in front of every name. And it means that for now, all microphones are unmuted and one person talks. So we have this rule during the meeting, and when I speak, then I unmute myself. And when the others speak, then you unmute yourself too, or you mute yourself. Hello, Ferdinando from YEPP Italia. So now we are almost complete.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. And only the Slovak colleagues are missing, but that's fine. The other option to communicate and interact is use the chat, which we already started doing. And if you have a question or if you have problems with internet, then feel free to use this chat option. And this chat is seen by everybody who participates in the call. This call is being recorded right now, and it means that everything will be kept for replay if you want to see or hear something very important. We have the presentation here with the slides, which we will try to keep short and clear, because we said that it's the purpose is to have 1 hour for this, to give you the key points on this project and what you need to know at this moment, and then have some time for your questions. So this is the agenda, how we want to proceed today. We will talk about the project, the essentials, the goal and objectives. Before that, we want to tell you a little bit more about us, YEPP IRC and YEPP Community Network, and what is the connection between our network to this project. We will talk about the times and meetings and the timeline. You have probably seen it already in the concept note, so we will show you again the choreography of the project from this moment to the very end. And then we want to go very specifically into tasks and responsibilities of each partner and what it means to have this project, also what it means for you financially, because this project is supported by the European Union, and there is a big grant which will be split among every partner. So we'll talk about this, and then we will conclude the essence with the first meeting, which we will have in Turin very soon, in 2 months, and then the question round. We have our colleague Roberto Varone from CISF, and CISF is the organization who has submitted this project application, and Roberto will also be here to answer your questions at a later stage. Now we have also Angela joining us from YEPP Italy. Hello, Angela, and I hope that you can hear me well. And now I would like now to give to every one of you a short possibility to introduce yourself, your organization, and we will do it like this. The person who speaks turns on your camera and you say your name, your organization and shortly what the focus of your organization is. And we will do it step by step. So here, Roberto would be number 1. So Roberto, now the turn is yours. Please unmute yourself and turn on your camera. Hello, Roberto. Do you have a camera to turn on and can you speak? Roberto?
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, I'm Angela.
Hello, Angela. Do you have a camera to wave?
I can switch it on.
Yes, please. Just for a moment to see you.
Yes. Here you are. Can you see me?
Not yet.
No?
No. Maybe you need to activate one button.
Just.
And Roberto, I see that you also are unmuted. Can you speak?
Yes, I'm speaking.
Okay. And do you have a camera?
I did that.
So can you introduce yourself?
Not.
As well from Turin, from Italy. She is international, works in the development project in Africa, and so we are working here in Italy in development people and we are also working in and Erasmus Plus.
Okay, Roberta, we can't hear you too well because there is some interruption. I thought that it's apparently my network. So maybe can you write in the chat what your organization is doing in one sentence, just to make sure that we capture this. Okay? Thank you, Roberta. I hope that you can hear me. So, shall we just move on? And yeah, Angela?
Yeah?
Great, you're here. If you have a camera, could you try again to turn
I'm
on?
sorry, sorry, your voice is very low.
Okay, Johan has a suggestion that I introduce the partners and then you just wave to the camera. Great, so let's do it. Works for YEPP Italia. And YEPP Italia is a very big organization doing support for Italian network of local sites. Angela is also the local evaluation facilitator for YEPP Turin Falchera. Turin is the city where we have the first partners meeting. And if Angela has a camera and then at some stage we might see her. It's not possible. The next is Angelica. Angelica, if you like, you can just turn on your camera and wave. And Angelica, as I said, is the colleague of ours from YEPP IRC. She's working as consultant for us, and she has been the program director for the YEPP program, which is 15 years old, and we will tell you more about this at a later stage. Yeah, Angelica, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can, then you can also switch on your camera, okay? And wave. Then we have Ariadne from Athens, but this is Angelica in the camera. Hi, Angelica. Hello, hello. This is Angelica from Cornwall, but actually from Berlin. Thank you, Angelica. And I will go to Athens. My voice is very low and difficult to be heard. Yeah, well, I'm really sorry if it is like this, but I'm trying my best. And I can talk louder. So from Athens here you see Ariadne. Hi, Ariadne. From Athens, Greece. Hello, our Greek partner. Ariadne works for the organization Hellenic Youth Participation, and they do a lot on youth participation very actively. And maybe we can also talk about this later on. Okay? So good to see you as well. And let me just move on to Spain and have Carlos from Barcelona surrounding waving to us in the camera. Hi, Carlos. I met Carlos in Barcelona last year, and I was very happy already to meet some of you in person involved in this project. So welcome, Carlos. Carlos works for the municipality in this town, which I can't really pronounce, Lisa de Val, maybe? Great, okay. And he is a youth worker and social worker, and he has organized a very big conference last year where I was with my colleagues from YEPP Italia. Then we moved to Ferdinando. Thank you, Carlos. And Ferdinando is from YEPP Italia. He's a colleague of Angela, and he lives in Genoa. And Ferdinando, if you have a camera, then would you turn it on and say hello to us? I hope you can hear me. Ferdinando?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. I switched on the camera.
Okay. Right. So Ferdinando doesn't have a camera, but he is here with us, and he lives in Genoa, and he's been local coordinator for Genoa Cornigliano, and also working in YEPP Italia for the expansion of the network, which is very interesting, and he coordinates the expansion to the south of Italy. Then I have my colleague Jochen from Berlin saying hi. And Jochen is the director of YEPP International Resource Center, and I'm sure you have received already some emails from him, and you will receive even more emails in the future as we keep on with the project. So Jochen is sitting at home and is actually on a sick leave at the moment, but he's with us, and thank you for being here. Great. And then we have Mihai Caprioro from Bacău, from Romania. And Bacău is in the east of Romania. And I don't know if you, Mihai, also have a camera, so you might want to turn it on and say hello to us. Then, if you want, this is now the moment. Hello, Mihai.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here with Janina.
Sorry? Hi. Hello. Hello. Okay. Nice to see you guys. So, Mihai and his colleague, what is your name?
Janina.
Janina. Yes, they both work for Community Foundation in Bacău, in Romania, and you also focus on youth and youth participation in your area, right?
Exactly.
Quite a poor area in Romania, so they do a lot of very interesting things, very innovative ideas. So thank you for this quick hello, and I allow myself to go to Sweden and have Pepe with us. Pepe is from Solna, near Stockholm, and I also met Pepe last year together with Carlos and Ferdinando in Barcelona. Hi, Pepe. Good to see you. How are you? Good, thank you. Well, if you want to talk later, then you have to unmute yourself, but for the moment, this is fine. So Pepe's organization is called Solna Youth Cafe, and they have a space for young people where they organize different activities in a very small place and very nice looking if you go to their website and see what it's all about. Great, and then I finally come now to Czech Republic. Thank you, Pepe. And I invite Barbara now to wave, Barbara, sorry, to wave and say hello. And Barbara's organization is called Romano Jasnica. We also have visited them last year, and they focus on empowerment of Roma kids and Roma teenagers in their small town of Trmice. And they also run several youth clubs and youth centers for this. And it's also very interesting. And this target group, especially the Roma people. We have one organization working with Roma people in Slovakia. Unfortunately, they can't be here, but in this project, we want to connect you all together and see different points and different working directions and see how we can enrich each other's work for the same goals of this project: people, places, partnerships. Then right now, let me stop here with the introduction and turn just my camera on to say also hello to you all, and then I will turn it off and then go to the next slide and invite Jochen to tell you what YEPP is about and what YEPP IRC is about, and then we'll continue.
Okay, I'm gonna switch on my camera for the beginning of this, and then later I switch it off because the connection can suffer from having the camera as well. Can you hear me? I hope you can. What we wanted to do before starting to talk about this new project, PPP, People, Places, Partnerships, we wanted to give you a contextual overview of YEPP IRC, the YEPP community network, because it's important. Most of the partners in this consortium are not members of the YEPP community network. YEPP Italia is, CISP is, and the Slovaks are as well, but for the others, you might not be as familiar with the YEPP as our partners in the YEPP community network. So first of all, YEPP stands for Youth Empowerment Partnership Program. It was a program which ran from 2001 and to 2011. And during that time, it was basically an initiative founded by several foundations, US and European foundations, and the objective was to develop, to monitor and evaluate and pilot a methodology and to set up a network and a methodology of youth community, youth empowerment embedded in community empowerment. So this program ran from 2001 to 2011, and after this, the decision was made to create the YEPP International Resource Center. So this is us now since 2011. What we do is very much a continuing the work of the program, we are at the center of this YEPP community network, which is composed of YEPP, what we call YEPP local sites. And here you can see on the map the different YEPP local sites across Europe. So I'm not going to name all of them. But it is important for us to make this context to tell you about YEPP and the YEPP IRC, and also about the methodology, because thank you for going back, because the goals of YEPP, the principles of YEPP, and the methodology of YEPP are very much at the heart of this new program, People Places Partnerships. And we need the partners also to embrace the goals of YEPP for this to work. Here you can see the goals. It's really basically about community empowerment, youth empowerment, partnership, advocacy and learning. So partnerships here means cross-sectorial partnerships in your community. We will go much more in detail into these goals and principles when we start working and developing the PPP program. And we will send you more information. But we wanted to give you this very, very short input at the beginning for you to understand what is this all about. So it is about community empowerment, youth empowerment, and you see here at the bottom this diagram also reflects what is called the YEPP cycle of change. So it's a methodology which is it's one of the pillars of the YEPP approach and methodology, where young people together with community stakeholders basically sit at one table and analyze what needs and problems or issues are in a community, and then they start planning and implementing projects basically in order to improve the situation of the community, to bring about social change. And as I said, it's not only about young people, but it's also about young people working together in partnership with the community stakeholders in the community. That includes the municipality, that includes the NGOs, etc., etc. So I'm not going to go too deep into this. We will send more information, as I said, but it's just important, we thought, that we understand what is YEPP all about, where does it come from, and of course this is a very, very summarized version of what it is, and you will learn more about it. But yeah, as I said, just at the beginning, we wanted to give you a very short photograph, so to speak, of who we are and what this is about. Could you go to the next slide, Tanya? Great. Here you see the network again. Now to the program itself. Tanya already mentioned the main applicant of this proposal to the European Commission was, as you know, CISP, our Italian partner. They are in charge of the administration and finances and are the key applicant. But when it comes to the content and basically the methodology of what we're trying to achieve here, this is basically designed by the YEPP IRC. So we wrote the application, and we are also very much in charge of, as I said, the content and the development of content within this program. The objectives, you can see them here. It's about developing a sustainability model for youth initiatives. So you all are partners in this consortium who already have either a youth club or youth center or youth initiatives in your community. And we are trying to develop and design a sustainability model for these entities, basically. So second, it's about developing a training program. So it's designed for young people with fewer opportunities. And the aim here is to foster active citizenship and employability potential, and increase their competences and skills in a very wide range of fields, such as analyzing your community, project management, entrepreneurial and social entrepreneurial skills, etc., evaluation, monitoring, etc. So third point is give a kick to young people's initiatives through these first two goals, and also qualify youth workers from partner organizations to deliver the training program. So this is also special here. We will have what we call a TOT, a training of trainers. So youth workers from your communities will during a special event during 1 week on the program we will design, and they then deliver workshops in their community with young people. So we also empower, so to speak, youth workers to become trainers, and they then to do the workshops and the trainings in their community. And then fifth objective, which is also important and is specifically important for the European Commission, when you apply for a grant like this, it is always also about influencing policies. So it's not just about some young people and trainers to get more skills, it's really also about trying to achieve long-term change and policy change in your communities, but also across Europe. So we are trying to also influence policymakers, your mayor, the people from the municipality, to be really also be involved in what we are doing, and therefore also working on a more solid and long. And also, if somebody has a question, you can, just a second, you can unswitch your microphone and. Okay, Tanya, could you hear me?
Yes, but
okay.
I can't see you in the list, which is strange.
Right, there was some, because I got some error message and then I clicked something,
right.
But you can hear me, yeah?
Yes.
And you didn't lose anything of what I...
Maybe a little bit, but...
Okay, so I wanted to go to the next slide, and I asked people to ask questions if they have questions. Yeah?
Yes, can I just add something?
Definitely, yes.
On this spot. Well, the goal of this project, like the very, very big goal, is for us to, first of all, see what exists already in your work, in your organization, how you work to empower young people, how you work to encourage their initiatives, and then bridge together these practices, also the practices which we have in YEPP community network, with entrepreneurship, education for young people, and then achieve in this way something new. And this new is about how to support young people for their initiatives, so that these initiatives also become something else, something more sustainable, and could then encourage entrepreneurship spirit and creativity. So this is the biggest goal, the overall framework of this project, which is split into these 5 goals or objectives, let's call them objectives. But I just wanted to mention that it's very important to understand where we're starting from and where we're going to. Yeah, we're starting from us, from empowerment and we go to one model which will be implemented and tested in Europe, like in your communities. And this model is about sustainability for all this which exists and which will be developed in this program. So that's what I wanted to say. Okay, can you hear me, Joachim?
Yeah, Tanya, yes. My computer just switched off itself, and I didn't hear everything you said, but I'm pretty sure that it was to the point, and because we both wrote it, so I'm sure it was of added value. But unfortunately, I couldn't hear everything you said.
Maybe some people have questions or comments on this, so you can write it in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And otherwise, we'll move on. No?
Yes, I think it's good for people who have questions to actually write it in the chat rather than unswitching microphone, because it can be disturbing. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I now wanted to give you an overview of the program, so don't get scared of this slide here, because it's basically a list of all the things we will undertake, we will do during this program. And as you see here, there's 3 boxes, one red, one green, one purple, and these boxes indicate the years. So that is also for you to relax about this very complete list. We will have to take things step by step and have a look at each year, not completely individually, but it will definitely make sense to look at, to zoom in, which we will do now, into each of the years and what, for example, is planned for this year, 2016, in terms of first of all, meetings. So there's international meetings. You can see here on the list already. There is there's red cases, C1 and C2. They are international meetings, and also the M1 in green and the M2 at the very beginning, at the very end of the program. They are also international meetings where we all meet. We will give you more explanation on how big these meetings are. Some are smaller ones of 20 people, some are bigger ones of 50 people, for example, the youth exchanges and the final conference. And then there are also local meetings which need to be organized. And what you see in blue, the 01, 05, 02, 03, these is what are called intellectual outputs. So basically, we have to produce certain outputs. For example, a training manual. We have to create an online platform. We have to develop community maps, etc., etc. Of course, each and every one will be explained to you, but just for you to understand, intellectual outputs are products, so to speak, we have to produce. And every partner also gets paid a certain amount of money to work 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. days on a certain intellectual output. So there's a wide range. It's 10 in total. You can see the blue here on the left. It's 10 intellectual outputs. So there's meetings, there's intellectual outputs, there's local meetings, which you see in orange. It's also quite at the end of this program, at the end of 2017, there will be what they call multiplier events or community hub events. So they are locally organized events each partner has to organize. There will also be online coaching in between different steps of the program. So we will organize, similar to this conference call, there will be 1 hour of coaching from us. Usually it's with the trainers who will be trained in this program. And there is also what we call the challenge. And there are 3 small video competitions for the young people. And there's the people challenge, the places challenge, and the partnerships challenge. And basically, young people are asked to produce very small videos. And of course, we give you more information on what the topic should be, etc. But they are also in between, so to speak, online events which take place, these small challenges, these competitions. I suggest we zoom into 2016, Tanya. So here this looks far less scary, I guess. This is 2016. So here you can see, I just would like to talk you through what's on the list here for this year. You see here the first is international online kickoff meeting. This is what we're doing right now. It's in May here, but it was I mean, we organize it now. 1st of May is the official start of the program. Roberto will tell us more about what's going on with the national agency of in Italy. They're still in the process of signing the contract, but we hope that the 1st of May will be maintained as the first day of the project, so to speak, as the start. So second point here, you see M1, transnational project meeting. So this is a first international meeting where all the partners, either the coordinator of your organization or the trainer, but we will, one member of each partner organization will come to Turin in June. And what we will do there basically is develop together. During 1 week we will work together. We will develop the content of the training program. So we will basically design a guidebook or a training manual for this program, where trainers are trained later in delivering these trainings, and then they train the young people in their community on these topics. A lot of this content is based and is also coming from the YEPP approach and methodology and the 15 years of experience. But that it will also be enriched, so to speak, with new approaches, with approaches you, the partners, have been working on with over the years. So this will be a very interesting intellectual get-together, so to speak, where we design basically the training and the training methods, very important as well. Then you have C2, which is the short-term, it's basically the TOT, the training of trainers. So you see here in June, we will meet the partners, and then we will all go home and we will continue develop the training material for this program during a couple of months. And after the summer break in October, we will basically then have finished training manuals. We will have an online platform where people can learn and share. And then in October, we will have the trainers who are basically trained to deliver the workshops of the PPP program. Tanya, if you have anything to add, you can just jump in. Otherwise, I continue. For 2016, no, wait, go back to, yes. For 2016, you also see in blue the different intellectual outputs we have to design. So you have a guidebook, an online platform. You have the training program in the communities, the workshops, which will start in November, and community maps is also something which will be produced locally in your community, where basically young people and the youth workers analyze and map their community to find out what are actually the issues in our communities, what are resources in your community, and what kind of interesting projects we can come up with to basically bring about change to the community. And in between, you have the online coaching and video competition, as you can see. So this first phase, as you can see, is the development phase. It's the first 6 months. It's basically really designing. It's developing the program in collaboration with all the partners. We meet in Turin, we continue to develop, we continue to feedback on these things, and then it's really only in October that trainers are trained, and in November that the young people start their local training. And then on the next slide, the next 2 slides, I will not go into each of the things we have to develop, because for now it's okay to focus on 2016. But as I said in the beginning, it's very much again about international meetings. It's about intellectual outputs we have to produce. It's about coaching sessions in between. And so I think we will, of course, go much more into detail into this. But for now, to not make this too long winding, I wanted to focus on 2016. And I'm sure there will be so many more questions from you as well. Great. So you have listened to me enough now, and I'm happy to give the word to Tanya, who is continuing with basically outlining a little bit what are the tasks now. So you will be asking maybe, so what are we supposed to do now? And this is also again focused on this first 6 months of the development phase I mentioned earlier on. So Tanya, if you want to give more input on that, yeah.
Yeah, that was great, very clean and very good explanation of the timeline. I want to talk about this development phase of the next 6 months in the 4 steps which you see on the slides. And to give you the idea how we like to work is we like to work in phases. So not to overload you with everything at once. Let's focus just on the very next steps of this project. And the first step is that you define people in charge of the project as soon as possible. And here we say it's until the 1st of May, until the official start of the project. We ask you to send us per email the 2 names of people in charge. And one name is who will be the coordinator of this project from your side in your organization. So coordinator is the person in charge of administration task, dealing with the budget, coordinating the network of activities for the project, and then later also talking to municipalities and engaging other people. So really it is about coordination work on the administrative level and also on the content level and political level. The second person in charge of the project is the trainer. So the trainer is a person working very closely with young people, and the trainer is a person who will deliver the program, the training program, to young people with fewer opportunities in your sites, and will be naturally in touch with them, following them through. We see these 2 people as the team. Of course, it is important to be working very closely together. However, we also know from experience that it's good to separate these 2 levels. One is coordination, and the second one is direct work with young people because then it brings clear results, and you can always support each other in your tasks. So this is what we ask you to think about from this moment. And here is a question: if it can be the same person for both categories, from the experience, we would recommend that it is 2 people, because you also get fees for intellectual outputs for your work as trainer and also for your work as coordinator. And if you are one person dealing with everything at the same time, it is overwhelming. So that's what we can say. If you have problem with this, who will be able to work permanently, then let's talk about individually and see how we can come up with a solution. So that's what I would suggest Ariadne to do. But if it's possible, try to think about 2 people in charge. Great. Then connected to this is the second point about partners meeting in Turin. This is our first face-to-face meeting. Okay, Carlos. Then let us talk about this at a later point to see. Just go back on this because I want to react. We have been implementing another big project for Erasmus Plus right now. So there we have different situation in partner organizations, and some people work as a team. So there are 2 people. It's even 3 people. It works very well. However, we have in 2 cases, 1 person for 2 roles. And yes, they manage, of course, but it's still a lot. So I would like to talk with you both about this individually and see what we can come up with, and maybe explain a little bit more about the very content. So you decide then for yourself, okay? Then partners meeting in Turin will be the second step. So in June, in 2 months, we will meet in Turin for the face-to-face meeting. There we will invite 1 person from each partner organization to come. And this meeting is, as Jochen said, very much based on developing the content. So from the profile, we would like to see you, partners, who already have experience with methods, with working with young people, and you know a lot about your organization, about the activities, about the methods. It is, we recommend that it would be the coordinator to come to the meeting, because coordinator is a person who has an eye for everything and who knows organization, who knows this administrational work, but also knows the content. So for the coordinators, this is the meeting to come to, because then there will be another meeting for the training of trainers, and this is point 4 here, where we will work specifically with methodology, how to train young people. So that's the difference. And that's a split to give you the idea. And what happens in between is what Jochen already said. We will work together with you on making the guidebook of this 3P model, and 3P stands for People, Places, Partnership. And we will be in the exchange and validation of content and methods for the guidebook, which we will agree on in Turin. So that's what I wanted to say about this. And if you have questions, any thoughts, feel free to write them into the chat, because we are running a bit out of time, and still we would like to talk about 1 more point. Actually, 2 more points are left. And the first one is about contractual issues and budget. And here I would like to also ask Roberto to listen and maybe feedback if I miss out something, because Roberto is in charge of contractual issues and budget from CHIS. But what it is about is what you can see here. We will have the partnership contract, which will be signed between each partner and CHIS as leading organization. Yes, they are waiting for the EU contract, and we hope very much that the national agency can approve the project to start from the 1st of May. We will prepare the budget for your organization, and the local budget for each partner is between 17,000 and 22,000 euros. It depends on the country, because European Commission has different fees for the country. It depends on the financial level of costs and all that stuff. So you will get the budget with very clear split of fees for intellectual outputs, and there is also coordination money every month, 250 euros you receive for coordination only. And there will be also money for multiplier events, intellectual outputs I said. And what else? For the project meetings, we have the lump sums. For one person from organization, like this time we will have for the Turin meeting, 575 euros is the budget for one person to come, to pay the flight, and to get the accommodation and food, which is not more, but that's what we have, and we have to see how we deal with this. Again, from the experience of implementing the big project, which we are doing now on entrepreneurship, it is possible to squeeze all the expenses, but it's still very, very difficult. And Carlos knows, and I'm sure that you all know how the EU rules are. So we have to really be very creative with this. But again, the transnational project meetings are dealt with separately. And then there is also a line for exceptional costs in the budget. So exceptional costs are something which is supported by Commission up to 75%. 75%, it means also that there is co-funding needed for the exceptional costs, and it includes translation for young people coming to international youth exchange, or coming to the final conference. If they don't speak English, which is understandable because we are dealing with disadvantaged people, then there is translation costs. Then there is also translation cost for the material, like written material, for the guidebook, and maybe some other things from the application. So overall, for the 2 years, we have calculated that we need 567 euros from each partner as this co-funding of 25% for whatever expenses additionally you will have for translation, interpretation, for young people, and some small things. Right, then very important is, let me just see what Jochen says. For Italy, the budget is more. Yes, because they implemented 5 YEPP local sites. And the budget exceptional cost also includes room rent for international meeting, manuals, I said. And Jochen basically explains in a written way what this is about, the exceptional costs. So that's for 2 years to cover these expenses, in addition to the grant, to the grants allocated to you and to the budget. Okay, if there is when every partner should give this amount, I think it will probably be in steps. For example, if you have a translation of the guidebook, then there is the time where it should happen. For example, after summer. Then you find a translator, you pay translator, 75% you have, and then 25% you co-finance. So that's one thing. It is easier if it is done in steps, so that you also don't have financial burden all at once. However, the person in charge is Roberto, because they are dealing with contractual issues, and Roberto would be the person to talk about this and discuss.
Yes, the partner should not give this amount. For example, if I have to give one partner 20,000 euro, I first give 40% of the budget minus this amount. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you talking about 40% of the whole budget, or are you talking about exceptional costs? Just to check. Okay, Pepe. Yes. Okay. We will come back to it about your question for the target group. And Roberto? All right. Roberto switched off.
Yes. Tell me. Okay, Jochen wrote what I told, so it's correct what Jochen wrote.
Okay, the answer to this, if the total budget for one partner is 20,000, then what you will receive will be the tranche of 20,000 minus the whole amount for exceptional costs, because then it's easy, so you don't need to pay something in addition. It will be handled at the central level. Okay, good. Thank you, Pepe, as well. And yeah, I will hear you soon again. Good. Let's just continue with this. 2 more points. Okay. Good. So we have to finish very fast this meeting, and we have still 1 more slide. What you can see here is, I think Roberto said already that CHIS will transfer the money in tranches. There are 3 tranches. The first one will be transferred in advance, the first 40%. Then there is another 40%, which you will receive after the expense report. Maybe it will be like in the middle of the project. And then 20% you will receive after the final balance of the EU. So this is also the rule of the EU, not to transfer all the money at once, and they also do it like this: 80% first and 20% only after final approval. And you know that financial budgeting is very strict in the EU, so we have to stick to this. And everything else, I think we said. If you have questions, then Roberto is the person in charge. It also concerns changes of budget lines, some shifts, and we will talk about it also in Turin. So prepare your questions about the budget when you receive the budget, and we will look at them together and discuss it face to face. And then I'm coming back to the final content slides about the meeting. And here is a summary of the objectives of this meeting. Once again, we are meeting to develop the guidebook of the 3P model, the content and methods, based on the methods which we have in organizations and based on the methods of YEPP, empowerment methods for young people, and entrepreneurship education methods. We collect other existing models and learning programs and centralize it to develop this guidebook, which is point number B or 2. And then we will have the time, of course, to talk about the challenges and opportunities, how this model can be implemented locally in your context, in your organizations. And this is where also the specifics in your experience is very important to have and discuss. And one of the outputs for this next 6 months is online sharing learning platform. Here we have also CHIS leading this task because they have experience in developing the learning solutions for young people, and this learning sharing platform is part of project outputs. So that's one of the results, that we want to have something online where young people can also learn and use the materials developed in the project. So we will send you the draft program, very soon. And very urgent practical thing is that we ask you to book your flight to Turin. Book your flights, but only after the 1st of May. Okay, and after we receive the contract. This is right, Roberto, because the official start is 1st of May, and this is also the financial start. However, I suggest that you already check the connections, check the costs, and you find the cheapest connection to Turin, because we will probably have the lump sum for these flights, and you don't want to also go too far beyond. This is it for now, and we are 7 minutes late. So thank you all who stayed until the end. And if you don't mind, I would like to have still 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes for your questions and asks at this stage. So please feel free now to unmute yourself and ask the question. Thank you, Roberto. Yes, Ariadne, is it possible to give us the number of the project to add into our pipe? Yes, it is possible. We will do it. Okay. We have to find the number and then we will send it. You are welcome. Any other questions? Yes, Roberto, thank you. No question from Mihai. Great, thank you very much. Then I want to say at this stage, great. Can we create a Facebook group? We can, yes. Let's see. I mean, we will create the Facebook group. Definitely, we only don't know when. If it's like today or when we have also more people and more content, right? So yes, it's a good idea. We'll come back to it at a later stage. Yes. And if you are a fan of Facebook, then why don't you then take initiative and then do it for us all? I think this would be also perfect. If you like it, it will be great. Yes, maybe after or during Turin we can do it. Check. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Great. So let's wait for Turin to discuss how we continue after Turin. But before Turin, what we want is that you send us the names of 2 people. You can discuss, you can also write to us, especially Carlos and Arianna, and book your flights. 1 person for Turin after the 1st of May. So before you send us 2 names, after the 1st of May, you book your flights. And this is it at the moment. We try to speed it up so that it really starts on the 1st of May. Of course, it depends on the national agency in Italy, but we hope very much that it's possible, Roberto. And we are very excited to have 5 new partners and countries to join the YEPP community network and to join this project. And this is really true. We were very excited to write this project and get in touch with you individually. In Turin, we will have possibility that we all meet and enrich our experiences. And this project is one of the 2 projects of Erasmus Plus Key Action 2, which was approved by the national agency in Italy in this round. So I think we all can be proud of it, that it's a great result already up to now to have this big project approved. And yes, ambitious goals, but also, you all as partners, and we look forward to our face-to-face meetings and look forward to staying in touch with you. So thank you, everybody.